Amy Jo Johnson, come on, guys!
Hi, everyone. Sorry about that.
So you're not paying for water?
Oh, okay. I'll move that over. How are you? I got lost. No one could find me. I needed a little break.
It's a crazy busy weekend, right?
This is crazy.
I know, it's insane.
It's awesome, but it's like yeah.
What is I'm curious, just because now we're talking kind of about the whole convention and that sort of like atmosphere, what is your favorite thing about coming to Comic-Cons?
Oh, meeting people that I've never met before and hearing their stories and, yeah, seeing people's costumes and...
There's always Power Ranger cosplay.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing you can count on.
Yeah. And
right
then
there.
I just like going to different cities as well. Like Chicago is such a cool city to be able to go and visit. And yeah, I was here almost 20 years ago. I had a boyfriend at the time that was living here, and I came and I recorded my first album here, The Trans-American Treatment. I recorded here in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was super fun. I'm gonna take my jacket off. Hang on a second.
Take your jacket off, get comfortable. And we're definitely going to talk about Power Rangers, but I kind of wanted to start off talking about your directing, which is something that you've kind of come into in this sort of second half of your career.
Yeah. So I started directing. I was doing Flashpoint, which is a TV series that I did. Thanks. And that brought me to Toronto. And during that time when I was shooting that show, it was when I started thinking that I wanted to start writing and directing. And so as soon as the show ended, I actually stayed in Toronto. And I did 3 short films. And then 2 years ago, I did my first feature film, which is called The Space Between. It's a heartfelt comedy, and you can actually see it online now. And a lot of the guys from Flashpoint are in it, and I'm really proud of it. It's my first feature. And then I just finished my second feature called Tammy's Always Dying, and I'm in the editing room right now.
Yeah, you're in post-production on that, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, I have 2 weeks. I'm gonna do pickup shots next week, and then I have 2 more weeks of editing.
And you had some great actors in that, like Felicity Huffman, and I mean, what was it like to kind of bring these iconic...
Okay, let's not talk about her today.
You know what? She still has a career outside of,
she
you know, her
and
personal
I'm
life.
praying
And she's a great
redeems
actress.
herself, and she's a great actress.
Lauren Holly, also.
Lauren,
Yeah.
who's such a hoot. She's fantastic. And then Anastasia Phillips is the star of it, and she's wonderful. Like, she's a dream actress to work with. I've never met somebody who can just like get to an emotional place like that. Like, she's incredible. This girl's incredible. Anyway, it's called Tammy's Always Dying.
And did you write the script as well?
No, this woman, Joanne Sarrazin, wrote it. I went to the Canadian Film Centre with her. That's where I met her, heard the script at a reading, and just really connected with it. It's about this... I sounded so Canadian right there, did you?
Yeah. I was like, wait, what's happening?
You guys have been there for over 10 years now. I am Canadian. And I'm a much kinder person. I think I am. Sometimes.
Right.
Anyway, the movie's about this woman, this non-functioning alcoholic woman who threatens to jump off a bridge once a month to keep her daughter tethered to the town that they live in, which Felicity Huffman plays Tammy. And I just really connected with the script because my father is a non-functioning alcoholic. And so, yeah, it felt like this cathartic story to tell. And it's quite funny as well. I thought it was a comedy. Guess what, guys? It's not. And she gets cancer halfway through. It's like there's a lot of stuff happens. But the writing is really funny. Joanne wrote like the dialogue, and I mean, sometimes in the most difficult situations, the most absurd things happen, right? In life, in general, anyway. And those are the kinds of films I like to make, is to find the absurdity in some of the hardest things we have to deal with.
Well, and you kind of touched on a good point. You know, even in tragic and dire circumstances, as humans, we always try to find a little bit of humor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we have to.
It's a survival mechanism.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And the levity and the the humor within the absurdity. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, let's take it back all the way to the early 90s. You were cast as Kimberly on Power Rangers. Did you have any idea that all these years later we'd still be sitting talking about Power Rangers?
No, I was thinking that today. Like, some of the conventions I've gone to aren't quite as big as this one. So, like, the line I had this morning, I was like, oh my God, that was 25 years ago. Right? It's really a blessing, actually, to have this support system and this fan base as I'm transitioning careers with these children that are now you guys that are grown up. Right?
And you were basically very young when you started on the show.
I was in my early 20s. Like, I think I was like 21 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the casting process like for you?
It was my first casting process that I'd ever gone through. So it was a lot of physical stuff. They had us do gymnastics or show if we danced or whatever. I was a gymnast, so I did gymnastics in my audition. And I think there was like 8. I think maybe we went through 8 different auditions, and they teamed us up right away with Austin. It was me, Austin, David, who? Oh, Walter.
I'm glad you're here.
And then and Audrey. Yeah, I vaguely remember Audrey because it was so long ago. But because then Twee came right after. Mm-hmm. But they had us grouped up right away, and then we started having slumber parties during we were just good buddies.
And you guys still remain friends today, right? I mean, isn't that the interesting thing about being an artist who when you were part of like a genre material that lends itself to conventions, is you're able to build that same community years and years later within the cast.
Yeah, me and David Yost remained really tight and close friends for a long time, because I only started doing conventions maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and then I reconnected with JDF right when we were going to do the cameo on...
in 2017, the Power Rangers movie?
Yeah, I think they shot that in 2016, though, wasn't it? Oh, maybe it was 17. Oh, I don't remember. But it seemed, I feel like it was longer. Was it only 2017?
It was recent. It was pretty recent, yeah. I know.
I guess I've just seen Jason so much in the last couple of years that it feels longer. Anyway, it's really nice to reconnect with Jason, too. He's so crazy. He's crazy, guys.
But so sweet. So sweet.
He's sweet. No, he's very sweet. I love him, but...
Tell us some crazy filming experiences with him or anyone else in the cast.
Oh, Lordy, I don't even know if I can remember that far back. But I remember in Australia, he was always doing pranks and stuff. But I don't remember that far back. I don't know. Recently, on the other hand.
Right.
No, he's so cute. And then David is like one of my best friends, and we go to cottages in the summer together and stuff. He's like family.
That's
I call
amazing.
him Uncle Yost.
When you got the call that you were going to do the cameo for the new reboot, what was your reaction? Were you surprised, or were you?
Oh no, I called. Well, I had my agent call and ask, and they asked the people in Los Angeles, but everyone kept giving them the runaround and no, and so finally it was like, well, why don't you call they're already filming in production, like call and ask the director and the people on the ground filming it. Like, I'm sure they'll think it's a good idea. So they called and we were like, oh, that's a great idea. And so then they asked me and Jason.
That's awesome. It was a great little moment to see you guys in there.
So fun.
So fun.
Yeah, it was really fun to go to Vancouver and shoot that.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to open it up to questions because I know you guys have been waiting patiently and nicely to...
How long did you guys... Wasn't that long, was it?
It wasn't that long. It was... Do we have any house lights we can bring up a little bit so we can see you guys out there? We want to see your pretty faces and your great cosplay. And while they're getting themselves sort of organized, everybody here loves you.